One of my favorite things about the Lightning is the ability to precondition the truck. So I'm in the Midwest here where we've got cold winters and hot summers, and being able to get in when it's like 80 degrees is awesome. So the truck's plugged in and I've got preconditioning scheduled. So every day before I go to work, I've got it set right now to warm up to medium, and you can hear it. So the truck's warming up, and what this is doing, if you're not familiar with preconditioning, is it's pulling the power right out of the wall. So that's my juice box 48 amp charger. So instead of warming the truck up using the battery, it's using the power from the wall. So this saves quite a bit in range when you start off. So let's hop in here. And oh yeah, it's like 90 degrees in the truck. So this is awesome. The screen loads up and it says conditioning the cabin, the current charge level 74%. So I found that when you precondition like this, that you can go, 20 or 30 minutes with just the seat heaters on and not have to run the heater, which saves quite a bit of energy on your battery range. So you can set up the preconditioning in two different ways. I think you can use the app, but I like to use the truck. I think it's a little more intuitive sometimes. So on the main screen, if you go to features and departure and comfort, there's your preconditioning. So right now I've got it set up Monday through Friday. At hot, it's starting at 7:45 in the morning. And you can just go to edit this, you pick a date, and you can put in the time you want to leave, warm, medium, or cool, and hit save, and you're ready to go. So this is pretty awesome, and it's one of my favorite features of this new truck. All right, so we just hopped out of the truck here. So this is the Avalanche color. I think this is super cool. One of the things that I did when I ordered this is I had I added the tailgate step, which was an add-on. I think it was, I don't know, $500 or something, but it's really cool. You push this button in the middle, the ladder pops out, and then there's this handlebar that comes up. So I know a lot of other trucks have this and non-electric trucks, but I think this is well worth the extra few bucks. I use this all the time. My Lightning now, this is a 23 XLT for just over 2 months, and I put like 2,200 miles on it. So it's been a good amount of time, I think, to have a really fair assessment about the truck overall. And there's some things that I really like, and there's some things that kind of drive me a little bit crazy. So I'm gonna walk you through both of them. Maybe I'll just jump back and forth to keep this interesting. One of the things I really like about this vehicle is just the ride, the overall ride, how nice it drives. I traded in a 2017 F-150 XLT that I bought brand new. So I had it for almost 6 years, and it had about 80,000 miles on it. And I love the truck. If the Lightning wasn't coming out, I had no intentions of trading it in quite yet. However, I was getting frustrated because I started having quite a few repairs and a couple big ones that were out of warranty. For example, the cam phasers, I had that fixed twice, once under warranty and once out of warranty. The four-wheel drive, like the hubs, they started grinding. That happened twice, once in warranty and once out of warranty. And those are both known issues. And they were pretty expensive. I think they were like about $3,000 repairs out of warranty. I also had the really weird door latch problem when I first got the truck. So the driver's door literally wouldn't close. I had to drive to the dealership holding it with one hand, which was crazy. So I was over all these mechanical issues. And with that truck having 80,000 miles on it, I was worried that they were only going to get worse. So I was really excited when my reservation came up for the Lightning. And I took delivery of it the first week of January. It's a 23. So the drive. So compared to the 17 or a regular F-150, this drives so much nicer. It feels like you're driving like a luxury car. Part of it, I think, is due to the weight. This truck, standard range battery is 6,500 pounds. So it's substantially heavier than a regular F-150. And it also has that improved rear suspension on it. but it just drives like a dream. What do I not like about it? There's been a lot of um, tech glitches with the truck. So the big one is the app. So you buy the truck, everything is connected with the Ford Pass app. You can check the, your charging status, change the charging, any vehicle warnings, updates, all that stuff. And probably after owning the truck for like 2 weeks, the app just stopped syncing with the truck. And I spent like an hour on the phone with Ford, and they said it was a known issue and that they were working on rolling out an update sometime in February. Well, it's now March, so February came and went, and there's been no updates that I've seen that have come across my truck so far. And I posted a whole video on this. I'll put a link at the end of this video, but I found a trick on how to fix that because it sounds like a lot of people have been having that same issue with the Lightning. And you have to unconnect the battery and reconnect the battery, and then all of a sudden it starts working again. So at the end of this, like I said, I'll have a link to that video and you can watch that. But that's been frustrating, right? How do you roll out an EV in 2023 and your app doesn't work with the truck? That's pretty embarrassing for Ford and pretty frustrating as a Lightning owner. And it's happened a couple times. So that fix is not like a one and done. Like I've had to multiple times disconnect and reconnect the battery. It seems like it's about every 2 weeks or so that happens. It works for a while, and then for no reason, it just stops working. So hopefully Ford gets that figured out. Charging has been a really interesting lesson. This is my first EV and my first experience with charging. So you definitely need to get a level 2 charger installed in your garage, right? The truck comes with the regular like 120, kind of cord plug-in charger, but it will take you forever, like days to charge the truck, and that's just not feasible. I really like the Juice Box home charger. I got the largest one you could, which means it can charge quicker, the 48 volt. And I'll put a link in the description of this video for that exact charger, but I love it. It charges really quick. It has a really clean app interface, and I've been happy with that. But what I've had to learn is, you got to plug it in all the time. So every time I'm home, whether I'm going somewhere or not, I constantly just always keep it plugged in. And I've got my charge limits set at 85%. Ford says you can go up to 90, but a lot of the other kind of EV blogs and battery health, videos and stuff out there, I'll recommend 80%. And what that does is it helps maintain the longevity of your battery. You don't ever really want to drain it all the way down or charge it all the way to 100%. That's hard on it. There's times you're going to have to do that, like on a road trip or something, but for day-to-day use, I've set mine at 85%, and that's been fine. But I had a lot of range anxiety the first couple weeks of owning this truck, and actually buyer's remorse. So when I traded in my 17 and the newness and the excitement of the Lightning kind of wore off after the first couple weeks, I was like, seriously, oh my gosh, what have I just done? Now I spent, $60,000 on this truck. I can only go 175 miles. I can't get in and just, drive 8 hours to Colorado on, a tank of gas anymore. But that slowly kind of wore away once you just get used to it. And that's what I tell a lot of people that stop and ask me about the truck and stuff. I was like, it's very weird at first, and it takes a good month to really get used to driving it and kind of get over that anxiety range and the fear of being without a charger and what do you do? And I've never had a situation yet where I've even come close to running out of charge. And I put 2,200 miles on it in 2 months. So driving 1,000 miles a month, that's a pretty decent amount of range. I also did another video where I charged this up to 100% and then drained it all the way down till I think I had 10 miles left. And I'll post a link to that right here. And it's a good test on how far you can actually go on day-to-day driving. So that could be a helpful video if you're thinking about getting a Lightning as well. What I really don't like about the truck is it looks really nice inside, right? The screen is awesome, the dash is awesome, but the plastic components seem really cheap, especially compared to my 17. So like the cup holders and the plastic trim and kind of the metal accents. Again, it looks good when you first hop in, but you touch it and it feels really cheap. Like the edges are kind of sharp on it, you know, and it's just really cheap plastic, if that makes sense. It seems like it's going to scratch really easy. So when you're kind of throwing stuff in and out and, you know, backpacks and bags or whatever, I'm just worried that it's not going to be nearly as durable as my old F-150. So that's kind of disappointing. The other thing is, if you can see on the screen, it's kind of a split screen, right? You get this little pop-up screen and then you get a larger screen. You can kind of drag and swipe that and it switches between the two. This changes all the time. So every time I get in the truck, for some reason, it switches. It's displaying different things, and I can't figure out like any rhyme or reason why that does that, but it's one of those little things that drives you nuts. So like right now I've got the Sirius XM on the large screen and navigation on the small screen, and when I stop and get back in, it might have like the battery range on the small screen and the navigation on the big screen, like just totally random. So it's probably just, you know, a technology glitch or something, and hopefully they get that figured out. The other thing that's really weird, and I was gonna hopefully try to catch it on video, but every now and then I'll be driving and I'll get a double ding. It'll be like ding ding, like the alert ding of the truck, but nothing's displayed. So it totally freaks me out because I'm like, what's going on? Is the truck like ready to explode or stop, or what's happening? And nothing shows up on the display. So it's just another weird little glitch that comes up that I'm trying to figure out, like, what in the world is this, you know, is going on with this. So there's a few technology things. One of the most fun things about this truck is just how darn fast it is. So we're at a red light here. I'm going to step on it as soon as we turn green. It's in sport mode. Here we go. Whoa, it just pushes you back in the seat. I mean, you can feel the G-forces in your face. You know, it's a 6,500 pound truck. So this thing is just unbelievable how quick it is. So another thing I really like about this truck is the display. You know, there's been some other people that say the interface is a little clunky and hard to get used to. I didn't find that at all. You know, it took a day to kind of go through every single button and setting and get familiar with it. But once you kind of set it, I found that you don't really mess with it anymore. But the drive settings are pretty cool. I saved this as a quick button right here because I access it a lot. So what's cool about this, if you can see the other dash on the left, when you change like sport mode, the dash changes. Like this turns to kind of a cool gray. When you turn to off-road, you know, it's kind of this brown, like mountainy background, and the other gauges turn yellow. The tow haul mode, it kind of goes back to this gray, and it shows a little trailer pop up. So this is really cool. It's pretty intuitive. Sport mode's fun. The truck is already really fast, but it kind of even gives it a little extra, you know, pep off the line. The other setting that I use quite a bit is when you go to features and trip energy. So trip energy, this is what's telling you, you know, how much of your battery you're using for driving, what the climate is doing, the climate control. You know, that's the biggest drain on the battery. A lot of people have done that, and you know, all this negative stuff about winter range loss. You know, what I think is interesting is a lot of these truck reviewers don't actually own the truck. You know, they'll go borrow one and drive it for like 3 hours and then do this big review on it like they're experts. So just take those with a grain of salt and just keep that in mind. But as an actual truck owner, the truck's awesome. So I know there's some negative, weird, glitchy things. There's a couple things on the outside I'll show you too. But I would not trade this back in for a regular combustion engine F-150. Unless the only caveat is, for some reason, you're constantly having issues that you need to drive further than you're able to with the electric truck, and you don't have access to a charging network. So I'm hopeful that in the next couple of years, the charging network is going to continue to get built out. Now with the Tesla announcement, that you got to just give that a little time. But that's going to be with any vehicle. That's not just the F-150. That's Lightning. Any EV, you're running into that same issue. So going around the truck, the running boards are really cool. There's a light here at the back, so when you park, it kind of lights up and gives you some illumination at the rear door. I tinted the windows on this right away. That was one of the first things I wanted to do. So what drives me crazy is the charge port. So if you look at this thing, it's a plastic door. It's really cheap. It's really flimsy. It's got this little like pop-in connector, and it doesn't close all the time or open all the time. Like you got to kind of push it a few different times. And I found if you push like right on this black trim, that's actually the best. But man, I foresee this thing breaking, or if kids are messing around with it or something. But what's cool though here is if you can zoom in, there's this little old original Ford with the 1913 date stamped on it. So like just this little hidden treasure. I don't know. It's kind of cool. So the other thing is the factory tires are pretty horrible. You can see these things are really slick. It's a city tire, it's a street tire. I got the 18-inch rims on this. I don't actually like the look of the 20-inch rims. They look a little plasticky and futuristic, in my opinion. So eventually I'm going to switch out and put some larger, all-terrain, probably Nitto tires on this. But again, it's just, after buying a new truck, I can't quite spend, $2,000 on new tires quite yet. So that's the exterior. Otherwise, it's, it's pretty straightforward and all the same dimensions as the regular, F-150. Let's go around to the front, right? So the light bar is super sweet. Everyone loves this. It looks cool. There's a little hidden switch down here. If you push this button, it'll open the front up. It beeps at you a few times. Dude, and this thing is dope, like no doubt about it. So this is my like emergency roadside bag. In my old F-150, I had all that stuff like jammed under the back seat and kind of in all the little compartments. So it's really nice to put this up here, and there's still tons of extra room for everything else. So here's all your chargers. There's these little hooks that if you have bags or something or some tie downs, you can put on it. There's a light switch because there's some lights in the top. So if you're doing something at night, this opens up, and there's actually, this is the factory charger that comes with it here, but this is like a little cooler and there's a drain in it. So it's awesome. I actually filled that with ice and put a bunch of beers in it. So that's going to be really fun with like tailgating or camping or whatnot. So that's pretty cool. Let me get this thing back in here. So the front's awesome. There's another switch here to close it. You just hit that once and it beeps a couple times. So the camera button is up here on the top. You hit that, it pulls up the camera, and then you can hit this little pull down. So it's really cool. There's like a zoom in front view. That's kind of pulling the sides together. So it's a little distorted, but it's pulling all the surroundings around you. This is the one that I like the best, dude. The bed of the truck, like this is sweet. I've hauled stuff in the back of my truck so many times, I'm worried if it's bouncing around or the strap comes loose. So that's really helpful. I'm not sure what that mode is. There's that's for the trailer if you got your trailer connected. There's your tow hitch. So that zooms down on your tow hitch. You've got a tow hitch. And this last one is just a back view. So this is kind of cool because you can be driving down the street and put that on and see what's behind you. My kids get a kick out of that. They always want me to put the back camera on for some reason. So the camera is another part that's really cool. So overall, guys, this truck is awesome. There's a lot of negative videos out there, and I think that's easy for people to harp on the Lightning, again, especially people that aren't actual owners of it. Right? Negative news sells, makes their videos more exciting, I guess. But as an actual owner, after 2 months and 2,200 miles, I would not trade this truck back in for a regular F-150.